One ball remaining. The match on one delivery. Some needed 6, some needed 4. One man needed just one run and still hit a 6 anyway. These are the 7 greatest last ball sixes in ODI history.
Has it gone? Has it gone? It's gone!
Most batsmen freeze in this moment. Most batsmen fail. But 7 times in ODI history, one man stepped up, swung with everything he had, and cleared the boundary. Match over. Team wins. Crowd goes absolutely insane. These are the 7 greatest last ball sixes in ODI history, ranked from least to most dramatic. Let's go. Number 7. Nathan McCullum, New Zealand versus Sri Lanka. Hambantota, 2013. This was a rain-curtailed match, meaning the target had been adjusted by Duckworth-Lewis. New Zealand needed 17 runs from the last 4 balls. Virtually impossible. Most people had already written them off. But McCullum went absolutely berserk. 2 4s, then a massive 6. Suddenly, New Zealand needed just 1 run from the last ball. 1 run. The match was essentially won. McCullum could have pushed a single, nudged it for a dot, and run. Done anything to get that 1 run. Instead, he deposited Rangana Herath's last delivery completely into the stands. Didn't need to hit a 6. Hit one anyway. Pure statement. Cricket. Number 7. Number 6. Ed Rainsford, Zimbabwe versus Ireland. Harare Sports Club, 2010. Now this one is slightly different from every other entry on this list. Zimbabwe needed just 1 run from the last ball to win. 1 run, a push, a nudge, a deflection, literally anything would have done it. The bowler was Irish all-rounder Kevin O'Brien. Rainsford, a tail-ender, stood at the crease, looked at the field, and decided, if we're going to win this, we're going to win it properly. He swung with everything he had and launched it over the boundary. 1 run needed, 6 taken. Number 5. Ryan McLaren, South Africa versus New Zealand, Potchefstroom, 2013. Ryan McLaren was never a household name, a lower-order all-rounder who did his job quietly without ever grabbing headlines. Until this day, South Africa needed 8 runs from the last over. New Zealand all-rounder James Franklin bowling. McLaren and his partner chipped away ball by ball. It came down to the last delivery. 3 runs needed. 3 runs off 1 ball means a 6 is the only way to win outright. McLaren pulled Franklin over long leg, and it cleared the boundary. The ground erupted. McLaren, a man who had spent his entire career in the shadows, had just won a match for South Africa with one of the most important hits of his career. Some players get 1 moment. This was his. Number 4. Brendan Taylor, Zimbabwe versus Bangladesh, Harare, 2006. Zimbabwe were chasing and needed 17 runs off the last over. Mashraf Mortaza, one of Bangladesh's greatest ever fast bowlers, was bowling. Ball by ball, Zimbabwe clawed it back. The crowd was on their feet. Last ball, Zimbabwe needed 5 runs to win. 5 runs off 1 ball. Only a 6 wins it outright. Taylor, Zimbabwe's captain and finest batsman, stood at the crease. Mortaza ran in. Taylor connected. The ball flew over the mid-wicket boundary. 6 runs. Zimbabwe win. In a country where cricket was going through its darkest period, Taylor's knock was a rare moment of pure joy for Zimbabwean cricket. Number 3. Shivnarine Chanderpaul, West Indies versus Sri Lanka, Port of Spain, 2008. Now this one is special because of who hit it. Shivnarine Chanderpaul was one of the greatest defensive batsmen of his generation. A man famous for his unorthodox stance, famous for grinding out runs, famous for saving matches, not for explosive hitting. 10 runs were needed off the last 2 balls. Shaminda Vas was bowling. Chanderpaul hit the penultimate ball for a boundary. Now 6 runs were needed off the very last ball. The entire ground knew what was needed. Chanderpaul knew. Voss knew. Voss ran in, bowled a full toss, perhaps the worst possible delivery in that moment. And Chanderpaul, the defensive genius, the grinder, the accumulator, hit it completely out of the ground. 6 runs, match won. The most unlikely big hitter in cricket history, producing the most important 6 of West Indies' decade. Number 3. Number 2. Lance Klusener. South Africa versus New Zealand. Napier. Lance Klusener in the late 1990s was arguably the most destructive lower-order batsman in the history of ODI cricket, nicknamed Zulu. He hit the ball so hard that fielders would genuinely move backwards when he came to bat. South Africa needed 4 runs off the last ball. 4 runs off 1 ball in OD. Cricket means one thing: you need a 6. Dion Nash was the bowler. Klusener took his stance, that wide-open aggressive stance that opponents had learned to fear. Nash bowled, Klusener swung. The ball disappeared over the boundary. 6 runs, South Africa win. For Klusener, this was almost routine. He did this kind of thing so regularly in this era that opposition teams genuinely had nightmares about the last over when Klusener was still batting. One of the greatest finishers cricket has ever produced. Number 2. Number 1. The greatest last ball 6 in the history of ODI cricket. Javed Miandad. Pakistan versus India. Sharjah, April 18th, 1986. The Australasia Cup Final. Pakistan versus India in a final. The 2 most passionate cricketing nations on earth, playing each other for a trophy. The tension was already unbearable before the last over even started. Pakistan needed 4 runs off the last ball. The bowler was Chetan Sharma, a young Indian fast bowler who would be defined by this moment for the rest of his life. Miandad was on strike. The entire Pakistan dressing room was standing. The entire Indian dressing room was standing. Sharma ran in. Bowled a full toss. Miandad swung with everything. The ball sailed over the square leg boundary. 6 runs. Pakistan win the final. The Pakistani fans in the stands went completely delirious. Players ran onto the pitch. Miandad was mobbed. Chetan Sharma sank to his knees. That image. Miandad jumping in celebration, the ball flying over the boundary, is the single most iconic image in Pakistan cricket history. Nearly 40 years later, Pakistani cricket fans still talk about this 6 like it happened yesterday. It didn't just win a cricket match, it became part of Pakistani identity. The greatest last ball 6 ever. 7 matches, 7 moments of pure nerve, 7 batsmen who refused to lose. From McCullum hitting a 6 he didn't even need, to Miandad's 6 that defined a generation of Pakistani cricket. These are the moments that remind us why we love the sport. Because in cricket, it is never over until the last ball is bowled. Subscribe for more cricket stories that give you goosebumps. Drop a comment. Which of these 7 6s would you most want to have hit? See you in the next one.